Hvala lijepa, Marko. Prije svega pozdravljam predsjednika Europskog vijeća, Charlesa Michela, koji je još jednom u posjeti Zagrebu. Želio bih mu zahvaliti da je jednu od ovih neformalnih večera članica i članova Europskog vijeća odlučio uz Pariz, Berlin i Kopenhagen organizirati upravo ovdje u Zagrebu, u Hrvatskoj, što naravno nama predstavlja zadovoljstvo da za otprilike sat vremena zajedno sa talijanskom premijerkom Meloni, sa poljskim premijerom Morawieckim i malteškim premijerom Abelom iskoristimo za razgovor o ključnim temama Europske unije, a uoči Europskog vijeća u prosincu kao i procesa donošenja strateškog plana za djelovanje Unije u razdoblju 24-29. Kao što znate, ovaj strateški plan je dokument koji se usvaja svakih 5 godina i predstavlja najširi politički, sektorski i financijski okvir gdje nastojimo na najvišoj razini šefova država i vlada definirati osnovne smjernice djelovanja Unije. U okolnostima u kojima smo djelovali zadnjih 5 godina, ja bih rekao da je naš raniji strateški okvir kojeg smo usvojili za vrijeme rumunjskog predsjedanja u Sibiu, kada je rumunjski predsjednik Klaus Johannis bio domaćin, bio svojevrsni mirnodopski plan djelovanja Unije. I to plan koji je bio i prije pandemije COVID-19, i prije ruske agresije na Ukrajinu, i prije energetske krize, prije inflatornih pritisaka, prije socijalnih pritisaka, pa u konačnici sada i prije ove velike krize na Bliskom istoku nakon terorističkog napada Hamasa na Izrael i rata koji je izbio i koji se događa mahom u pojasu Gaze. Sve to govori o nepredvidljivosti međunarodnih odnosa, o važnosti pitanja sigurnosti, o važnosti jačanja naših obrambenih sposobnosti, o nužnosti kontinuirane potpore Ukrajini, o jačanju svih mehanizama ekonomske i financijske suradnje kako bi se održala stabilnost država članica, o vremenu u kojem smo koristili mjere državnog intervencionizma i to praktički u jednom zaista dugom razdoblju od zadnje 3 godine, 3,5 godine, kako bismo svi zajedno sačuvali, ne bih rekao socijalni mir, nego socijalnu koheziju društva u krizi bez presedana. I zato je važno da smo uspjeli dobro kombinirati mjere nacionalne politike i onoga što smo zajednički radili na europskoj razini. Jedna od tema o kojoj ćemo govoriti večeras bit će i pitanje daljnjega proširenja Europske unije. Kao što znate, Hrvatska je jedna od onih država članica koja podupire proces proširenja, osobito na nama susjedne zemlje jugoistoka Europe, ali jednako tako se zalažemo i za proces proširenja i na Ukrajinu i na Moldovu, pa i perspektivu Gruzije koja je dobila pozitivan signal u zadnjem izvješću Europske komisije. I stoga je dobro da na otvoren način raspravimo realne vremenske okvire tog procesa koji će se naravno uz ispunjavanje kriterija i poštivanje ključnog načela individualnih zasluga svake zemlje na europskom putu nametati kao jedna od najvažnijih političkih tema. Također razgovarat ćemo i o pitanju europskog proračuna, to jest procesu razgovora koji se trenutno vode o reviziji višegodišnjeg financijskog okvira. Naime, on je dogovoren, kao što se sjećate, u ljeto 2020. u srpnju, a barem njegovi glavni elementi, i tada naravno nismo imali na umu sve ovo što će se dogoditi u veljači 2022. Tako da je ideja da se pronađu sredstva kako bismo mogli financijski podržavati Ukrajinu u okolnostima kada njen ekonomski i financijski, dakle da ga nazovem krvotok, treba više financijskih injekcija da bi uopće normalno funkcioniranje zemlje bilo osigurano, a pritom su tu i pojačane prijetnje i veći intenzitet nezakonitih migracija, što dakako nameće i nova sredstva na tom području zajedničkih politika. Tu su i pitanja strateške autonomije i ulaganja u europsku industriju, osobito u globalnim okolnostima, i u konačnici nastojanja da se više sredstava osigura za kontekst koji proizlazi iz ubrzanih klimatskih promjena i velikih elementarnih nepogoda koje pogađaju brojne zemlje. Hrvatska imala to prilike vidjeti, nažalost, 2 puta 2020. sa razornim potresima u Zagrebu i na Banovini, pri čemu smo zahvalni za sredstva iz Fonda solidarnosti i instrumente iduće generacije, ali su i neke druge zemlje, Slovenija ovoga ljeta sa enormnim poplavama, Grčka primjerice sa najprije velikim požarima tijekom ovoga ljeta, a nakon toga još većim poplavama koje su pogodile sličnih situacija ima i drugdje. I zato mi se čini da je ovakva rasprava u užem, neformalnom formatu sjajna prigoda da otvoreno i diskretno razmijenimo stajališta o ključnim europskim pitanjima, globalnim pitanjima, i zato mi je baš drago da je ovaj današnji sastanak večeras u Zagrebu i hvala Charlesu što je napravio ovakvu gestu prema Hrvatskoj. Hvala lijepo.
Thank you, dear Prime Minister. Thank you, dear Andrej. And thank you for accepting to host this meeting. It will take place tonight here in Zagreb. And I think that we all agree on the fact that we are facing extraordinary difficult challenges, and notably we are facing 3 shocks at the same time. The first shock we are facing is a shock with nature, with our environment, climate change, and it requires a lot of efforts to adapt our economic system, to adapt our societies. And COVID is also a translation of this confrontation between our humanity and our environment. We are facing a technological shock. If we take into account the green tech, for instance, and innovation which is required to address this climate change challenge, but if we take into account the generative artificial intelligence, we understand that this is a serious transformation of our common future. It has and it will have a huge impact on our life, on our societies. And the third shock we are facing is related to the multilateral order, a world based on principles, a world based on rules, and we can see in our direct environment, in our direct neighborhood in Ukraine, the war launched by Russia against Ukraine, in the Middle East, those tragic tensions in that part of the world, that it has an impact all across the world. It has an impact on the European soil, on the European continent. I think that the recent years, because of all the challenges we face, we have tried to work together within the European Union to address all those challenges, trying to get united and trying to build more sovereignty, more European sovereignty, what some are calling the strategic autonomy or the sovereignty. It means more influence, being more resilient, and it should be our common goal. And I think that there's a broad consensus among the leaders that it should be a common priority for all of us. And if you want to be more influential, if we want to develop our sovereignty, to promote our values and to defend our interests, there are 2 top priorities. We need to strengthen our economic basis. The single market is a very important asset for all of us. We need to invest in innovation. We need to prepare our common future. And we need to improve our security, and probably we need to make progress in the field of European defense and European security. And in fact, if we take some distance, we can see that the promises of the founding fathers of the EU are more important than ever. This was democracy, a democratic European continent based on prosperity, peace and security. And the strategic agenda we'll discuss is in line with this moral duty to do everything to fulfill those common promises. This meeting takes place in a moment where, again, and I think this is extremely important, enlargement is very high on our agenda. And personally, I think, I repeat again, that enlargement is an investment in peace and prosperity for the future. And it's why we need to discuss how we get prepared for this moment where we will be more than 30 countries on the table of the European Union. And I think there is some homework, certainly for the candidate countries. They need to implement the reforms that are needed, economic reforms, fight against corruption, rule of law, all those important principles to join the European acquis on the one hand, but we have also our own responsibility on the EU side. This is our homework. And tonight we have the occasion, under the auspices and being hosted by you, dear Prime Minister, to go more into the details in a small format. This is easier to have more interactivity, to be more direct, to be more spontaneous, and to try to answer three questions. The first one, taking into account the prospect of the enlargement, what should be our common priorities, our common policies in the future? What are the topics where we think the EU has or should have a real added value for all our citizens across the EU? That's question number one. And of course, we know what's the starting point. Cohesion, agriculture are important priorities, and this is reflected in our European budget. It means that in the future, we'll need to identify what are the priorities for this European project. Second point, the financing. How do we pay? How do we demonstrate our financial solidarity? It's never easy to talk about money, to talk about financial means. This is very often a controversial debate, but we need to address this debate. And how do we pay? It means that this is the debate on the national contributions, net payers, net receivers, and the own resources. And we feel that more and more we will not avoid having a serious discussion on this possibility to develop our own resources. And third point, the decision-making process. We can observe that today, with 27 member states, sometimes it is challenging to make decisions and to remain united. This is a challenge, and this is very important to find the right balance between unity and ability to act and to react and being agile when this is needed. Those three questions will frame our conversations tonight, but I'm also certain that we will have also the occasion to touch on some elements in relationship with the preparation of the next European Council meeting that will take place in December. This is not the main topic for tonight, but some points are interlinked with the debate we'll have, because in December we have the Western Balkan Summit, very important moment with the leaders of the Western Balkans, and we have on the agenda the enlargement based on the report recently issued by the European Commission, and we are supposed to make some progress in relationship with the MFF review, the review of the European budget. Once again, thank you, dear Prime Minister, for your personal, very sincere and very powerful European engagement, and thank you for making possible this working meeting that will take place tonight. I'm very pleased to be in your beautiful country and to have the occasion tonight to have a good discussion with our colleagues to prepare the next steps and to try to do our best for a stronger and more impactful, in a positive way, European Union.